Hey folks, this is Guru Mayer at sensesofthesoul.com, and I'm really excited to share a story with you today that illustrates how you can heal the deepest pain. Some people live with quite a bit of pain from the past and ongoing difficulties that we just come to accept, internal stresses and anxiety and depression. And I want to illustrate how the emotions are used to heal that same pain, that you don't have to live with it. So there's a great story about a young man named David. He came to me and he had a rough history, gangs, drugs, in and out of rehab, really down, and a lot of depression and anxiety. And he was feeling really pretty hopeless and really didn't feel like he had much to live for. And I said, well, is there anything you might want to live for? And he said, well, I'd like to have a family someday. And that looked really far-fetched for someone in his situation. I said, well, what would, imagine yourself in a family, what would be required? What would you be doing then, and what would it take? And he said, well, I'd have to be able to work, which I can't now very well. And I said, yeah. What else? And he said, well, I'd have to not be abusing drugs. And that affects the work too. And I said, yeah, I don't think somebody would want to be your partner when you're abusing drugs. So we focused on, all right, if you want that family someday, you work backwards and the dominoes say, all right, we got to stop drugs. Now, I asked him his history, and he's been in all kinds of rehabs and never worked. So I said, well, why do you do drugs? And he says, well, I feel such a deep pain. It's like there's a black hole in my heart. I feel such pain. I'm trying to cover that up and escape for it for a little while. And I said, well, hasn't worked yet, right? It keeps coming back. Okay. So we now realize that the connection between I want a family someday comes back to not just stopping drugs. Let's forget about that. Let's go to the pain that the drugs are trying to deal with but aren't working very well for. So I said, are you ready? Let's go through the pain. Like this is how emotions work, that they call your attention through pain, so you will address them and deal with it. And when you heal, when you deal with the underlying issue that your emotional pain is pointing you towards, then the pain goes away. It's just that simple. It's like pulling a splinter out of your finger. But we don't know how to do it yet, most of us. So I just had this young man. I said, are you ready? Are you willing to go into the pain? I can guide you, and it won't be too scary, but it won't feel good either. So I just had him meditate, breathe a little bit. And I said, go right in there. Go into that pain you've been avoiding with drugs and just sit with it. And this is basic Senses of the Soul stuff. I hope if you haven't tried it, do try it. And I'll give you lots of guidance to do that you just sit and calmly confront, be aware, sit with the emotional pain. So after a few minutes of that, I was just guiding him, and he said, yeah, it's not quite so bad anymore. Just to be able to sit with it usually brings some relief. And once he felt, all right, I can sit here and handle this, I'm not running away from it, I said, ask that pain what it wants. Within just a moment, he said, oh, it wants love. I said, yeah, that's your heart speaking. He was pointing right here. I said, your heart wants love. And I said, well, to ask your heart, so what will happen if you get that love? And he said, I'll know that I'm great. I'll know that I'm okay. Oh my God. Do you realize love is like a nutritional substance that people can't live happily without those vitamins of love. So, all right, he'd had a rough history. So now I said, all right, come back out, and we talked about it. And I said, now you know it's not, if you want what you want, if you want to be with a partner and be with a family someday, drugs aren't even the problem. Finding love, feeling loved that will take away the pain. We're talking about a decade of really heavy pain here. So he said, yeah, well, how will I do love? I said, well, all right, one step at a time. Now you at least know you've got this hope, you've got this idea. And then, so I plan to work with him some more on finding the infinite sources of love. I mean, he's got how he wants a lover. And that's possible, but there's a lot of other ways to eat besides your main favorite dish, right? So anyway, I want to let you know that emotions are the key to healing trauma and deep pain. And so if you want out, if this story helps you understand that it's safe and comfortable when you do it with a little care and guidance and consciousness to go into the emotion, learn from them what they want, and then they're going to guide you, right? So, by the way, when I work with David some more to find this love, I'm not going to be giving him any advice. I'm just going to get him to go inside again, listen to his heart, and his heart will tell him everything, as will yours if you learn to listen. So this is the Sense of the Soul. It's so easy, it's so effective, and I really want to help everybody be able to do that. That's why I developed the Emotional Liberation course. It's available to you to self-study, and I'll walk you through it because I get on the phone with you every week in this course. So I want to handhold you through the valley of the darkness and come out really bright on the other side. It's just so wonderful to see. So I wanted to share that story with you. Come to Emotional Liberation. Check it out. The URL is here in the YouTube description. And come to sensesofthesoul.com and you can find out more. Thank you. My mission is that you feel better. I hope this story helps, but you got to get to work just like this young man did and go inside. So take good care and feel better. Bye now.